What's up, guys? Bent Over the Barrel podcast. I'm sitting here solo on set, and I've got Chief. He's dialed into the soundboard. Say hello.
Hey guys.
It's good to hear him on here. Times when he's not able to make it, we're going to have him, on the show one way or the other because we have an overwhelming um outreach. People all the time, man. When you guys going to have more podcasts? When you going to have more podcasts? We work full time jobs, and we do have guests still lined up, guys. So just be patient with us. You know, uh, we have, I think we've reached the 18,000 listener mark between YouTube and Spotify. We get much more listeners on Spotify than we do YouTube. Um, that's good to know. You can reach us at 317-674-3216. That's our hotline. We got a caller that called in from Orlando, Florida, folks. So we're going to play through here in a few moments, play through the voicemail recording that we got. And it's going to be a treat for both of us. Um, we won't put this gentleman's real name out there, but he didn't even use his real name. But we're going to kind of talk about his voicemail he left us on the hotline. And, we get a lot of text messages on the hotline from everywhere upstate Washington. We've had text messages on the hotline from Denver, Colorado, Utah, in this case, Orlando, Florida. So we know we're reaching people all across the United States. And we're glad you came and got bent over the barrel with us. Keith, what's your thoughts on the overwhelming responses that we've been getting?
I mean, I kind of like it. We're just, two old country boys that grew up together. And I mean, when we were kids, you never thought something like this would come about. But thank God for technology and stuff like that. I mean, I'm 3 hours from you, and we're getting to do this show together. So
Yeah, the technology when we had Real Talk with JK and T in 2009-10 area, uh, we were just that was YouTube was pretty new back then. That's when we first started the podcast world off with a pretty neat little show, but we didn't have near the technology even what is that 14 years ago that we do now for sure.
oh yeah.
And like you said, we're 3 hours apart, and we can still have a full show. And I want to let the listeners know that coming up next week, we'll be taping a episode with a pastor and fellow classmate that was with us for many years. And Adam McDaniel will be on the show next week. And then following his episode, we're going to have Ernie Grant III. You guys are going to find him very interesting. So both of those gentlemen are lined up and confirmed for podcast episodes. For right now, we're going to give you some insight to one of our callers, and he called in on the hotline. And I want to start with our sponsors. If you want some podcasting equipment like you see here on the show, I would say A plus for the bang for the buck. What about you?
Oh yeah, the microphones are amazing. I love them.
And so are the headsets. I mean, as you
Yeah.
see, the headsets, microphones, and microphone stands. We only thing we had to do is a minor repair on one of the microphone stands, but we got that ironed out and it's all fixed. But if you guys want some audio equipment for a podcast, microphone, headphone, soundboard, whatever case may be, go on www.mayano.com. That's MAONO.com. Use code one word Get Bent. Get Bent will give you 10% off your order, and we hope that you're able to go on and use that code and get a discount on your order. We know just a couple weeks ago we had one of our fans get on and ordered quite a big bundle of things. It was a sizable order, and it helps us a little bit. But right now we do this for the love of the game. We're not collecting any money. This is something that Keith and I have thoroughly enjoyed over the years doing. And again, go on www.mayano.com, code GetBent. for 10% off. And our other sponsor that we mention every week is Extra Laundry Detergent. They began in a small apartment above Nuno's Pizza in Brooklyn, New York in 1988. Despite their humble beginnings, they knew the idea behind their products was strong. Extra offered a big brand look and performance at a small price. And when they launched their laundry detergent and it hit the shelves, it was just what shoppers were looking for. Soon they had a loyal following. Being a young, innovative brand, they continued to look for fresh and exciting news to bring to the laundry care aisle. In 2004, they launched Tropical Passion and introduced the laundry world to its first experimental scent. Ah, now I remember that scent. That first scent.
Dude, that was my favorite. So, I mean, still to this day was the tropical.
Yes, the Tropical Passion was that experimental scent that they kept to this day, and it has not changed since 2004. So now they feature fragrances like papaya, guava, and kiwi, along with floral notes. It was like nothing that they ever seen before. And I tell you, I really like it. Like you said, today they continue to grow and add new vibrant options to the rainbow of fragrances. You can now choose from 7 unique scents that help make everyday laundry day feel like a getaway, folks. These scents are Calypso Fresh, Summer Fiesta, Mountain Rain, Tropical Passion, Crystal Clean with OxyClean, Escape Plus with scent technology of lavender and sweet vanilla, and Plus scent booster technology called Sparkling Fresh. Get yours today wherever laundry care detergents are sold. Now I'll talk about sorry. They see on our table here, guys, we have a bottle of Scatterbrained peanut butter whiskey.
See, I wish I was back right there. I mean,
next week we'll pop the top on that, and we've got some whiskey glasses and cubes that now look like a sphere. So we're going to enjoy some different whiskeys and review them, and we're going to talk about our overall thoughts. But when I was there tonight at Total Wine and More in Noblesville, Hamilton Town Center, it said it's an award-winning peanut butter whiskey. It won several awards here just recently. And you'll see also beside that is a new beer that we're going to go with. And you're going to see us enjoy that beer quite frequent. Garage beer. This is Garage Light Lager. And chilling right now in the freezer right now. I'm chilling down a can of, this will be one that strikes a remembrance for you, Keith. This is Garage Lime.
Dude, if it tastes anything like Miller Chill, I'm game.
Yeah. Boy, going back to the Miller Chill days, you know, with the touch of lime, it had the right combination, I thought.
It was perfect because Bud Light lime is still disgusting. I hate it. I don't like it. Nothing against Budweiser. But the Miller Chill back in the day, man, we used to make them pretty good over at your grandma's.
Yeah,
fishing and.
I tell you, especially on a hot summer day, they
were great.
Much better. So we're gonna do a review on light lager from Garage, and we're gonna do a review on the lime as well. But you can get yours at Kroger or Total Wine and More, and I'm sure there's some other companies that's going to start carrying it. It's relatively new. It's owned by the Kelsey brothers and Richard Rawlings of Gas Monkey Garage. They teamed up and started this company, and it was something for me to see Richard Rawlings drop some 40-plus year deal he had with Miller Lite. You know, that's all you ever seen him drink, and you'd watch Fast and Loud or anything Gas Monkey, and Richard always had a Miller Lite in his hand, but he was a delivery boy for him for many years, and
for domestic beer, he chose a good one.
Yeah, I tell you, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised by this Garage Light Lager. From what I understand, I was reading reviews on it, and they said if you like a light beer, this one's the one you're really going to like, because there's no fluff, there's no silliness to it. It's just straight up what customers want, and that's a good light lager. And they don't quite call it a pilsner, but I think it's going to remind us a lot about a pilsner, but they're calling it a light lager, and I'm looking forward to trying that with you, and we'll give that
Well,
a test.
sorry,
So
sorry, I'm not there.
yeah, that's all right. You know, the fans want more, and we're trying to give them what we can give them. And I know they want more more interviews, which we've got lined up. You know, we've got Sergeant Kyle McCoy from Lapel area here. He's going to be on our show. He's got a podcast, Sergeant McCoy's podcast, and I tell you, I stopped off and got a Raisin Canes tonight
Yeah.
for supper. It's not bad, but boy, the price really makes your ice hole buckle. You know, I got a 6-finger deal. You know, a 6-piece chicken. It comes with a piece of bread and your French fries and coleslaw, and no big deal. 18.50.
Yep.
So
There ain't no 1850 about Canes. And I know I'll probably catch some shit, over somebody. Ooh, make fun of me. No, I don't care.
right,
Everybody likes, different things. I'm just, the first time I had it was when we lived in Lexington, and I wasn't a fan.
right.
So I mean,
I must say, for me, there is a place in Westfield called Slim Chickens, and it blows it out of the water. Slim Chickens is if you want chicken on the fast. Now, is it 5-star restaurant? No, but is it better than Raising Cane's or any?
I'm telling you right now, I've seen 48 states in a semi. The best chicken, the best tacos, the best whatever you get is a hole in the wall place.
Right, right. Yeah,
So
that I must agree. You just there's so many stars out there shining brightly, and in this case, we what do we have a choice of here in this area? Zaxby's, KFC, Raising
if
Cane's.
you go Anderson, you've got Lee's Chicken.
Right, Lee's is pretty good.
Yeah,
What
I like Lee's.
now? What was the one over here
livers.
by Love's Truck Stop?
That was Chester's.
Is it still around?
I don't know if Chester's Chicken is still in the Love's Truck Stop. I don't know. I think they've made it into a Subway and a McDonald's now.
Okay, yeah, because Chester's to me kind of floated the line with the Panda Rat and Cat Express. You'd get some chicken that was awfully gamey, and I know damn good and well that we've ate cat and rat and without knowing it, and unfortunately, but I wasn't a huge fan of Chester's. How about you?
Nah, I no.
You know,
I,
but we're going to get into this caller here and see what he has to say for us here on this podcast, and let's see what we got here with this guy. We're going to stop him here and talk about it. It may not let us on our app, but I've got a transcript of it too, so I can also read it. Let's see what we got here.
you play the kid? Yeah. Well, I'm glad. She's nice now because she bit me when.
All right, so I'm going to play this audio in the microphone for everyone, so we can kind of talk about it here. Let's see what we get here. It may not let us. Okay, it looks like it's not going to let us, guys. But are you with me? All right. So I'm going to read. I'm going to read this to you here. This was a voicemail. I wish we could play it, but this is the first time we've played you guys a voicemail, and with our hotline, we're gonna have to do some more R&R on it, but to play the audio because with us having a conference call here, it's basically an app. So when you call in, you'll hear it. It'll say Google Voice, and we've got a voicemail where you can leave us a message and a text. Um, he says this right here, caller from Orlando. So I'm already, kind of wondering about this feller. He says, this is old loose cannon. Loose cannon. Loose cannon. When I think of that, I think of, that scene from Home Alone. Snakes, snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Yeah.
This old loose cannon. And I just get mad about random shit. Okay, so we're off to a good start.
So does fucking everybody else.
He says, in my random shit today that I'm pissed off about turns out to be a good fucking happy story. Because I'm proud. And as a blessed man, the one we need for this next year and the next 4 years is the one that got shot in the ear. Y'all hear me now? You can't go for another bullshit, or he says you can't go for another bullshit deal. Our man took a bullet. Caller ends his call at that point. I mean,
he ain't lying.
Right.
No, I'm not.
Old loose
I'm
cannon.
not.
Loose cannon.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in and leaving us that voicemail. And whoever you are, loose cannon. We know who you are at this point, but we won't. You didn't leave your name, and you go by loose cannon. So let's address old loose cannon here.
So again, he's not lying. We've had almost 4 years of incompetence in the White House.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying I'm strictly Republican. I'm not saying I'm strictly would never vote for a Democrat. If I would have been old enough, I would have voted for Bill Clinton. So, I mean, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's why you eat ice.
Well, I mean,
ice eater.
We constantly, see people on social media, and they do interviews, TikTok. Well, I'm with her because she's black, or I'm with her because she's a female, or I'm with her because mean tweets and sexual talk from the president. Well, they used a 5-second clip out of what the total the whole conversation was, to use it to spin it like they always do. Now,
right?
Do the Republicans use shit to spin it? Yes, they all do. They all have to figure out how to get the upper hand, and win the election, whatever.
Right.
The difference is, okay, he got grazed by a bullet. Change a man, because you're within an inch of losing your life. If you wouldn't have turned, it would have been over with.
Right.
But the fact that the same people that forced Joe, I don't care what they say, they forced Joe Biden out of the presidential run because they knew he could not beat Trump again.
Right.
If he beat him the first time. Where that's the whole other story. We could take 4 hours on that shit. Are the same people that are saying, oh, he's such a great president, he's doing a really good job. Okay, so why did you force him out? And yet, when they force him out, they don't even let the people that vote Democrat to vote for who they want.
Right. They're forcing.
They're just, where's the democracy there? They just put a candidate in front of him and go, oh, this is who's running. Now, they did it because if they would have chose someone else and she wasn't involved in it, they would have lost $352 million to fund their campaign.
Right.
So, but at the same time, the people who wanted to vote Democrat should have had the right to vote.
Sure.
It shouldn't have been forced, because I can tell you right now, nobody would have gave that woman enough votes. She got 6% in the primary when she got her ass handed to her by Tulsi Gabbard.
Right.
Within 36 seconds of a debate.
Yeah, we're in real big trouble, folks, if the harlot of Babylon wins and brings this little queer with her.
Here come the balls, Joe Walls.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that communist asshole.
Well, let's talk about one of the things you brought up earlier today with me is about a hotline that was made open to citizens, and let's talk a little bit about that idea.
Okay, so back during the pandemic, during COVID, Chinese virus, whatever you want to call it, Chinese flu, whatever.
China.
The governor, you know, here come the balls, Joe Walls, had a hotline. So let's say that you and I are neighbors. We live across the street from each other, and
Okay.
you are drinking all the Kool-Aid. You're following every law, social distancing, mask everywhere, and you don't go anywhere. You don't do anything. You don't walk your dog when you're not allowed to. They had specific times you were allowed to walk your fucking dog. So, I live across from you. I don't live in fear. I don't need the government to tell me how to raise my fucking kids. I don't need the government to tell me how to work my fucking health care. So, I have friends come over. Friends think like me. They ain't wearing a mask. We're not social distancing. We don't give a shit.
Right.
You can call this hotline number, rat me out, be a fucking snitch, and then I get fined. But yet, the day that she announces that she picks him as her running mate, he gets up there and he's saying that, you know, everybody's different and we all just need to get along, and that starts with everybody minding their own damn business. Well, where the fuck was that when you were the governor of Minnesota?
Yeah. He needs an ass whipping from Jesse the Body from
well, and he's
Minnesota.
Also the same mental fucking case that decides that we're going to put tampon machines in men's bathrooms.
Unreal.
Why? And he's the same piece of shit that says it's okay to do gender dysphoria on children that are under 18. And he's taking them. He's taking kids away from parents that won't conform to it. But yet these people are just eating this shit up left and right. They think he's the best thing since the fucking coming of Jesus. And let's not get into the fact that, you know, okay, he spent 24 years in the military. All of it was in the National Guard.
Right.
But yet he claims he carried an M16 in combat. Negative.
Unbelievable. And if they could do it in 2020, why couldn't they in 2024? You know, when I talk about that, I talk about the steel. Are we watching a giant sting operation? I'd like to hope so. You know, I would love nothing more than to see the biggest sting operation in the history of the world. You know, where they catch these fuckers red-handed, cramming. Well, I mean, here's my beef with all of that. They had all of that on videotape. In 2020, they had thousands and thousands of surveillance tapes of people cramming Joe Biden votes into, you know, ballot boxes at 3 a.m. Well, what happened during 2020? You know, everyone went to bed going, all right, Donald Trump, he got 4 more years. We're all good to wake up to what? What was it we woke up to?
Joe Biden winning.
Not only winning, but all of a sudden now, boom, he had 90 some million voters, folks, and couldn't even fill a high school gym during all of the campaigning. That's an obvious. You had dead voters, you had illegal voters, you had people been dead since the 1800s voting, and I just want to know how is that representative of a constitutional republic in which we were supposed to be? Again, if they could pull it off in 2020, they now have 4 more years under their belt of experience. What's stopping them from stealing 2024? In my opinion, nothing.
Oh no, I mean nothing. If they can do it and they feel like they can get away with it, they'll do it again.
I'm with you.
And here's the thing: we talked about this too. We're not going to be, if it happens, we're not going to be uncivilized. We're not going to go in the streets and burn towns and loot shit, for some fucking Jordan's tennis shoes and 85-inch TVs and shit. That's not us. And frankly, that doesn't beat the system anyways.
Right.
But it's, that they use it to make themselves feel good. If they do the same shit they did in 2020 and they come out with it, then, I don't know. We're heading for dark waters.
Uncharted territory.
And
this will make the Depression of 29 look like a cakewalk. I mean, we're almost there. We're on the cusp. Donald Trump's not lying when he says we're on the cusp of World War III, and we're on the cusp of a major depression, one unlike any other, which we've never seen in our lifetime.
No.
And
it was bad enough during Obama.
Did you get your free Cadillac and free mortgage?
No. See, I worked at a facility for a cell phone company. I won't say the name or the location.
No, they don't exist. So
I was a floor support supervisor.
Right.
And the day he got elected, I would say, so we were predominantly 70% black, 30% white people that worked there. I would say of that 70%, 50% of them walked in that day and turned their badges in. And I finally was like, frankly, I didn't give a shit. I was like, why the hell are you doing this? You're getting paid almost $20 an hour to sit on your ass and take phone calls for customer support. It's a cakewalk for a job. You get paid by the hour, not by call. And the guy's exact words were, "We got a brother in office. We're going to be taken care of now."
Boy, were they mistaken.
I sit there and told him, I was like, let me tell you something. That man ain't your brother. He's going to fuck over this entire country.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And the only reason he got voted in the second time was because he was the welfare president. That's what he's known for. He gave so many free fucking handouts that he bought votes. That's the thing. That's the thing with the Democrats. And people don't comprehend this, that they only care about a certain group of people every 4 years.
Right.
So they give them all this shit to keep them on the government's tit. So they'll keep getting their votes.
Not only that, he also destroyed millions of really good used vehicles, which actually we're seeing the
old cash for clunkers bullshit.
We're seeing the fallout for that. You and I, we talk, every evening about used cars and trucks, because that's what we're always going to do. And we're now finally seeing the fallout to that in the aspect of the pricing. Uh, what was the Dodge Ram truck that you seen that was over $50,000?
It's like a 2000 or 2001 24 valve Cummins quad cab, standard box, 6.5 foot bed, 4-wheel drive, and it looked bone stock. It may have been leveled, the leveling kit for the front.
Yeah,
It was nothing fancy. It wasn't. I mean, it had cloth seats in it still. I mean, you're talking there's stop to put it in 4-wheel drive kind of shit.
and what was the price on that?
$56,000, had 90,000 miles on it. That thing probably cost $20,000, $22,000 brand new.
Unbelievable.
Maybe 25.
Just here we are, and to find a used vehicle nowadays is I mean it's possible to find them, but you can't even find a 93 S10 for under $2,000.
Here's the thing. When we were in our mid-20s, we could go and take $800, go buy a car that ran. It, beater with a heater. A few things needed to be fixed on it, and we could make it look better and turn around and double, maybe triple our money.
Right.
You can't even touch something that is considered. Now, when we say beater with a heater, it may not look the prettiest, but it gets you from point A to point B, and it doesn't break down.
Right.
It's got a heater in it, may not have air conditioning, but it was dependable. You could drive it. And I mean, we used to see people every year at tax time. They go buy a $1,500 car, and that was their car for the year.
Right.
And it'd probably last them that year. And at taxes, they go buy another $1,500 car.
Right.
You ain't doing that shit now.
No, not at
That
all.
$1,500 car that we used to buy and dabble in with flipping cars is $3,500, $4,000 now.
And you're definitely going to have rust and all kinds of issues at that price point.
I mean, we're at the point now you can find an ad on Facebook Marketplace that tells you the vehicle runs and drives great, but it needs a new transmission.
Right.
That's where we're at now. That's what runs and drives great means.
And that's the logic of the people we're dealing with nowadays too. Is runs and drives great, needs a transmission. Well, if it needs a transmission, I hate to tell you, their scooter.
It may start up and run, but it ain't driving.
Right. Unbelievable. What you got going on this weekend?
Man, I'm up at the lake with my youngest son and the wife. So,
well,
that'll be up here a little bit later and get some work done up here and go fishing with the wife and the son.
Yeah.
Try to get a break from reality.
It'll go by so fast your head will spin.
I know. I mean, it's as a younger, when I was younger, I took it for granted. Like, I'll be back up here.
Yeah.
And when you've got a full-time job that is an average of 60 hours a week, and you got, kids in sports, and, the wife works full-time, and it just never seems like it's enough to be up here.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the summer's great adventure. That they almost sold this like a Six Flags theme park, and I felt like I was on the Vortex roller coaster for an hour and whatever.
No, it felt more like welcome to the Gemini. How was your ride?
Twisters, folks. Twisters. Twisters. Let's just say this again. Twisters, meaning Twister Part 2. What'd we say about the old pornographies? Twisters Part 2?
It was good enough the first time. They made a second one.
No. Folks.
Okay, so hold on. it wasn't that bad. Now, okay, they marketed the movie as, an after run of the first one. It wasn't that. It had scenes in there where they used some of the actions of the actors and actresses, did what Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton did in the first movie. But you couldn't. In the first one, you could tell as soon as Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt got back to seeing each other again for the divorce papers, you could tell that there was past chemistry between the two.
Yeah.
But in this one, it wasn't there. Now, I'm not saying it was a horrible movie, but I was kind of let down because they marketed it as it's the second coming of the original.
Right, a continuation or
But
some kind of relation.
It wasn't at all.
No, it stood on its own, and you know, I dropped out on the film when the first clown meteorologist said, "Yeah, we're seeing readings over 70,000 feet on this one here," and the minute I heard that, I was out. From that moment forward, I was just like, "Boy, get this Steven Seagal straight to VHS tape B movie out of my face," because it just wasn't getting me hard. I mean, what can I say? It just didn't do nothing for me. Thankfully, I had a large 60 something ounce gumball head IPA to get through the mess. But for me, Twisters was
Now, see, after watching the movie, I think they should have marketed. Okay, you know how we had the original 4 Star Wars movies, 3 Star Wars movies, okay?
yeah,
And then they started making ones as we got older that were supposed to be pre of those.
yeah,
I think this one should have been marketed as pre Twisters, and it showed Bill Paxton as the wild, crazy tornado chaser that he was, that they talked about in the original one, like how he was before the divorce.
right.
Then I would have been okay. It's a little bit more to go with, but to be a sequel of the original and it be nothing to do with. Okay, I don't want to say nothing. In the beginning of the movie, they had a Dorothy.
Right.
5 minutes in, and there's nothing else about it.
Right. You never heard not a single thing else about Dorothy.
Yeah. The only thing is that the girl in the new one has the same gifts as basically Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. She can feel tornadoes.
Yeah.
She can sense what they're going to do. That was about it.
The whole idea of shooting rockets into them to get them to disappear, and I was just it was so far fetched in that aspect, and the sizes were way out of whack, and it just wasn't very realistic to me. That's I can appreciate that they took a beautiful town of El Reno and
Yes.
destroyed that. Uncle Curtis, and he grew up in El Reno and went to high school there, and they still live right outside of there in Tuttle, Oklahoma. But I just wasn't feeling the film, and for me, it's a thumbs down, and for you, you're kind of in between a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So
yeah, I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie, but it wasn't what they marketed it to me as.
Yeah, because just
Twister, the original Twister, you and I, dude, we were trying to build anything to use anything to build a Dorothy when we were younger.
Right.
That movie just got us going.
Right.
And they had $200 million to make this movie, and
yeah, for me it wasn't worth 2 nickels, but some people liked it. Some people were a lot more people were like you. They were in between the thumbs up and the thumbs down, and then you had your fanboys that were all in on it, like it was the greatest thing uh, ever put on the big screen. But I just couldn't get there, guys. Just nothing was exciting about it after the first scene, and I just kind of lost interest throughout the film. At times, it felt sleepy, and what lacked for me in this film was like you said was the chemistry between the two main characters, and the two main characters in the first film, actually the three main characters in the first film, and then you had Philip Seymour Hoffman that played Dusty. There was just so many more um, interesting characters in the original for me than there was in. You mean to tell me with the budget that they had that they couldn't come up with some better actors? That I just could not quite get there with Twisters. I don't know if there was a better name that they could have come up with for the film, but a lot more people. I'm one of the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'd say 95% of them were like you, and they had the outlook on it like you did, where they were in between. Yeah, it was a summer blockbuster as sold, and then you had the ones that were in between that, and this is nothing but a Team U Wish AliExpress ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, oh, and sorry, one other thing that they did the same. They both had a red Dodge.
Yeah, I seen one critic's review on the film, and he said this was the longest Dodge Ram commercial I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't care. Them little remember the little spikes that he stuck down in the ground?
Oh God,
Those only went in like a foot.
if that.
So, okay, I've been in an F4 Tornado, Omaha, Nebraska. Been in 24 total in the time of driving a semi. I watched the F5 drop in Joplin, Missouri. 10 minutes behind it. I watched the whole thing. That shit ain't gonna hold that truck to the ground.
Not at all. Amazingly enough, after all that, no dents, dings, or scratches.
Yeah, I mean the windows were still in the truck, and damn, I mean, if I'd have known Dodgers were that tough, man, I'd have one. But every one I've ever owned, I go through suspension like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, hell, the heat alone from the summertime would crack the dash. And
Yeah.
you're telling me that the giant tornado didn't ruin the dash? Oh, come on.
Hell, I think they had cracked dash problems from that heat clear up into the mid 2010s, like the 14, 15 model.
Yeah.
So yeah, not in this movie, but that was the toughest Ram truck I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, I'll just stick with it. It was okay. Now, I wouldn't have. We watched it off of a streaming thing. Didn't cost me anything. I probably, at $20 a person to get in the movie theater now. I probably would have been pretty pissed.
Right.
But I mean, I've seen better. I've seen worse.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'd watch that again before I watched Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah. Twisters for me just left a lot to be desired, and
should have been more, more like Straight Line Wins or something like that.
Team U Twisters. Straight to the VHS tape. That's where I'm at with it. It was mainly, not necessarily the actors themselves, even though I thought they left a lot on the table, but just the chemistry between them it just didn't do nothing for me. I just couldn't get there with it, and I'll leave it at that. And well, we're going to wrap this one up here. We're at 45 minutes for a nice little episode for our fans. And I'm going to send you off here for the weekend and catch back up with you here start of the week. And we'll go ahead and plan getting Adam McDaniel, his episode done. And he'll be our next guest, guys. And following his episode, we'll have Ernie Grant the third and many more beyond that. So this is
And
Chief and Lone Wolf. Anything
we
else?
we do got some videos coming up of us doing some reviews on products and stuff. So we'll use those as our monthly you and I is just us podcast.
Yeah.
So we'll make a video out of it, and we'll be talking back and forth about normal stuff that we normally do anyways. So and that'll give them more video content for them.
Yeah, yeah. We're doing real well. Again, Spotify's greater than YouTube as far as the listens, and I'm one of those people that like to listen to podcasts as I drive to work, drive home. Theo Vaughn's this past weekend and Joe Rogan Experience are the two major ones that I tune into every week, and obviously that's what they do for a living, so that they don't have jobs that they report to like we do. So they have a lot more time and a lot more money to spend on equipment. But I'm not complaining at all about our equipment that we've got. We film these on a GoPro Hero 10, and it's been nothing short of pretty good once we got it all figured out. And the Mayano audio equipment, the 2015 Apple iMac laptop here has done us well. It's still hanging in there and no issues with that. And so I've been happy with it, with time and, with interest. Speaking of interest, I got recognized. I was at a Penn Station in Fishers, Indiana, off of 116th Street, and had a fan come up and asked if I was Lone Wolf from Lone Wolf and Chiefs Bent Over the Barrel, and I said, yeah, that's guilty as charged. And she said her and her boyfriend tune in to every episode on Spotify, so couldn't be happier than to hear that we do have listeners and fans out there, and starting to get recognized around local venues, and I think that's great. And again, we're not doing this for the fame or the fortune. We do it for the love of podcasting and just talking about things that you guys might be interested in. And tune in next week when we have Adam on, and you guys are really going to enjoy his testimony and his story from the lowest of lows to finding a partner, a wife, and becoming a minister at Hope House in Muncie, Indiana. So he's got a lot to talk about, and what a story he's got, from growing up here in small town Lapel, and getting involved with the collision business in Muncie, and he's done a lot, over the years, and experienced a lot too, and overcome a lot. So I'm looking forward to having him on the show. And anything else you can think of?
That's it, bub.
All right, and I'm going to end this podcast after we hang up here with the actual audio recording, if it'll play, and it should, so they can hear the voicemail that old Loose Cannon left us. So you'll have to tune in, Keith, to hear the audio recording, and you'll enjoy it. You'll know who it is when you hear his voice.
All right, bub.
All right, man. Well, it's good seeing you, and thank you, fans, for tuning in, and tell everyone you know about Bent Over the Barrel. Get us some subscribers on YouTube and some listeners on Spotify, and we'll be back next week to see you again.
See you, bub.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, we're going to play Loose Cannon's voicemail for you.
This is old Loose Cannon. And, I just get mad about random shit. Well, my fucking random shit today I get pissed off about. actually turns out to be a fucking happy story because fucking I'm proud and it was a blessed man. But the one that we need for this year and the next 4 years is the one that got shot in the ear. Y'all hear me now? You can't go for none of this bullshit. Our man can duck a bullet.
Well, all I can say about that, Loose Cannon, is drink you another Budweiser and smoke you another doobie. You silly bastard. Good hearing from you, Loose Cannon. We love you and miss you from the northern frontier, the tundra, the frozen tundra. You're down in paradise now. You're seeking greater things. You're in sunny mid-shaft Orlando. And Loose Cannon, we salute you for calling in to Bent Over the Barrel podcast hotline. Now, all I can tell you, Loose Cannon, get bent. See you guys next week.